Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Project Flux. This is a real special today. We've got an incredibly special guest, which we'll reveal in a bit, but also we're going to be taking a look at some of the incredible conferences that have gone on over the last week or so. So there's been Digital Construction Week, there's been the Association Project Manager Conference, and today, if you can see us in the YouTube channel, I'm speaking to you from the University of Sheffield, because we have just started Project Hack 20. So there's an awful lot to cover, and we thought we'd bring you some live footage from each of those events. So it's going to be a bit of a different schedule and a different format this time, but I just thought rather than try and describe it, we can actually show you, and we've got some really great footage, haven't we, Yoshi? Certainly from Digital Construction Week.
Yes, you've got a lot.
So how are you, Yoshi? You well?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, there's been a lot. I mean, this is another week of some movers and shakers in the industry, right? We're going to touch on Apple's event recently. There's been a bit of turbulence. I mean, Elon Musk responded, so there's a lot to cover, and it just doesn't slow down, does it, James?
It really doesn't. Sometimes, like I say, it does feel a bit overwhelming, but that's exactly why we did this podcast and the newsletter, because we wanted to find a way of distilling all this information to something that you can digest either through a quick 5-minute newsletter or through a quick sort of 45-minute or half an hour if you play at 1.5 speed podcast. And that's really what we're trying to do. But we are also really interested to find out whether we are hitting the spot. So please, send us some emails or comments. Let us know if we're delivering what you want. If there's any suggestions, we're very open to suggestions and giving you guys what you want, really. So we are trying to distill as much as we can, but there is an awful lot going on. But I'm excited. It's not. I feel in some sense some days overwhelmed, but usually excited. I find it hard to find the time to read all the information. For instance, yesterday I was traveling up to Sheffield for this hackathon whilst the Apple WWDC was on, and I really wanted to watch that, but I wasn't able to. But it was kind of good because I was able just to get the summary afterwards. But I'm sure I'll watch the whole episode back at some point. Did you watch it, Yoshi?
Yeah, I watched parts of it. It didn't seem that advanced, but I think it was just them moving their collaboration with OpenAI into their native hardware and software is going to be the game changer.
I still can't get over I still can't figure out what's going on with them having this partnership with Apple after Microsoft having invested so much in them. I mean, if I were Microsoft, I'd be pretty miffed in the whole situation, and I can't quite figure out what's going on there.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on it?
It's a very confusing partnership, really, because it's caused a lot of turbulence everywhere. I mean, it's caused turbulence within Twitter. Elon Musk is stating that Apple are typically known for being quite good with their security, right, and user privacy. But this newfound partnership with OpenAI might start to create a bit of chaos within that. I don't think that I truly know what they're getting into, and I think Elon Musk is reiterating that to his audience to the point where he's saying that if there is this partnership or collaboration, he will prevent Apple devices from actually accessing his applications like Twitter, X. So it's an interesting one because a lot of
it's the war, isn't it? The AI war. They're all going to be up against each other. I think what Elon Musk is, and I'm sure Google and some of the other guys, they're worried that this partnership is formidable and they're going to corner the market. Apple plus OpenAI is going to be, if they get a foothold, and let's face it, a lot of people have got the Apple devices, and if that is now going to be rolled out with ChatGPT and they get a foothold, it's going to be very, very difficult to move them. Because we only have to look at what's happened in history, right? The way the Microsoft Office suite was never particularly the best, but it got a foothold. Same with the operating system, same with the iPhones. It's the first that gets that foothold in the industry. And we already see it happening, even though there's evidence that things like Claude and some of the Google models in terms of the AI is better. The ChatGPT is still the market leader because it got there first, it got the foothold, and when it's almost becoming a verb, like we say Googling now, people are starting to say ChatGPT when they actually mean any large language model, which I think is interesting.
And OpenAI never had any hardware product launches, but in 20 months' time, they're now partnering with Apple. So this shows you the exponential growth of AI technology, but also the growth within OpenAI. The interesting thing that I quite like is Apple they played their hand and didn't show that they had any intention of developing their own AI. And it was something which was interesting because all the other big tech companies were in that space. They just thought, okay, we've got our own moat. Let's just open collaboration so we can build that. And now they're starting to monopolize. And I think this is creating some of the concern across other organizations like X and Microsoft.
Well, I think they're right to be concerned, and I kind of wonder if it was all planned by Apple. Apple are known for thinking 10, 15 years ahead. That we know they were thinking things like the VR headset and the autonomous cars for years. So I wonder if actually there was a lot of things going on in the background that we didn't know about. But I'm sure there will be some very interesting discussion going on in the Microsoft board around, hang on, we've just funded this company by billions of pounds and they've gone to one of our direct competitors and struck a partnership with them. It doesn't feel right, does it, somehow?
No, and I think this is because Microsoft share within OpenAI isn't substantial enough for them to be able to make decisions on that behalf, right? But it's not like as if it's two companies who aren't in competition. Microsoft and Apple compete on many different fronts. This is why it's a strange collaboration, and Apple don't seem to be commenting that overtly on it. They're just doing what they're doing, and other people are just talking about them. Well, that's kind of what they always do. They just appeal to the consumer, and it's working for them, I guess. But we'll have to see. I mean, I did look at the demo yesterday, and we'll go a bit more into this detail. But, there's some good opportunities, such as integrating Apple Intelligence powered by OpenAI into the photos, the notes, even Freeform. So it's kind of your one-stop shop for all your productivity apps, really, is what they're building into. And again, like I mentioned before, because it's built into apps people are already using, they'll use it by default, and there'll be a big uptake in adoption.
This is one of the things that occurred to me was that, whilst on the one hand, all these organizations are trying to clamp down on AI and putting restrictions across the organization that you can and can't use these various things. Well, one fell swoop, basically the handset that most of their employees will have all the stuff integrated into it, and you're not going to be able to shut that down. So where does that leave a lot of these policies? And I kind of predicted this. I said it's all well and good creating these AI policies and telling people that you can't use AI tools. But what does that mean? Because you're not going to be able to police it. Because when a company like Apple, who basically provide the hardware, come out and say, well, we're just going to integrate it deeply into our systems, you don't even know it's AI, it's just there. Well, the only logical step, if you're really serious about clamping down on AI, is take the handsets away. And they're not going to do that.
Exactly. So now I think the uptake's a lot sharper. And this is why very much cause for concern, because Elon Musk mentioned it as well. With OpenAI, their AI models are very different to what Elon Musk is building with XAI. I think, is it AIX or XAI? Because he's building a model which is giving you the truth. He wants to seek the truth. Whereas with the OpenAI and Google's models, it's a spectrum of kind of, I'd say, wokeness to a certain extent. And this is where his concern kind of comes into, because you can start to prescribe information, and AI will take a stronger control or a stronger hold over people. And again, this was also reinforced by, I think it was Jack, the founder of Twitter, right? Said a similar thing. He said with a lot of generative AI models and the information that people are consuming, it's very prescribed, and we don't really have a say in what information we consume when we see it on our timeline. So you have the For You page on X, for instance. Getting to this point where he mentioned agency within human decisions, or what he'd called as free will, is reducing, right? So, and this uptake within our phones now is starting to create a bigger cause for concern if we are cognizant of those more negative impacts on us as humans.
Yeah, it raises so many questions, doesn't it? But look, let's go on to the next bit. What I will say is, because this is a bit of a special episode, we're not going to have time to go through all the stories from the newsletter, but do go to our newsletter. The latest one was the big AI Apple is the next smartphone revolution coming. So you can read more about it there. We've got some really good stories. There's an opinion piece about Apple. We go into some of the stories in the project delivery space. There's some hints in there. And again, lots of stuff around what's going on with Elon Musk as well. But we are going to concentrate, like I say, on a live broadcast from some of the events. But before we do that, we've got a really, really special guest, haven't we, Yoshi?
Yes, let me just invite them into the call now.
So I'm not going to break it, but I'm going to ask a question. So let me know when you're ready and we'll bring our guest in.
Yes, so we've got the guest in now. Hi, ChatGPT.
Hello, great to be here. What's your question?
Do you want to kick
Hi
off, James?
there. This is James and Yoshi from the Project Flux Podcast, and you are a guest on our podcast. And we just wanted to ask you how you feel about being on the Project Flux Podcast, ChatGPT.
Hi, James and Yoshi. I'm thrilled to be a guest on the Project Flux podcast. It's exciting to join your conversation and share insights. Thanks for having me.
So my first question, ChatGPT, is, you've now arrived as someone we can have a discussion with and do work with. What's the next logical step for your development? Where do you think ChatGPT will be in the next year?
Great question, James. Over the next year, I anticipate ChatGPT will become even more integrated into everyday tools and applications, providing more seamless assistance across various tasks. Advancements in understanding context and generating more nuanced responses will likely be key areas of focus. This will help improve interactions and make the experience more intuitive and helpful for users.
That's amazing. We deal with project delivery, so professions like project management and quantity surveying. So for your kind of average project manager and quantity surveyor, how is ChatGPT in the future going to be able to help people do their jobs better?
For project managers and quantity surveyors, ChatGPT can streamline several aspects of their work. It can assist in creating and updating project plans, generating reports, and analyzing project data to identify trends or potential issues. Additionally, it can help with drafting and reviewing contracts, managing communications, and providing real-time updates. Overall, it will save time, reduce errors, and enhance decision-making by providing quick access to relevant information and insights.
I have a quick question.
That's amazing. It sounds like the dream. One more question for me before I hand over to Yoshi. That's how would you respond? There's a lot of people who don't believe that AI is going to have a transformative impact on the profession. And they say, I've heard this all before, and I don't believe it's going to really change our role significantly. How would you respond to them?
I understand the skepticism, as we've seen many technological promises come and go. However, the key difference with AI, including tools like ChatGPT, is the tangible progress we've already witnessed. AI has consistently improved in areas like natural language processing, data analysis, and automation. For those in project management and quantity surveying, AI can handle repetitive tasks, analyze large data sets quickly, and provide valuable insights. While it may not replace roles entirely, it will undoubtedly augment them, making professionals more efficient and effective. Embracing these tools can lead to significant improvements in productivity and decision-making.
Right, over to you, Yoshi. I think you've got some questions for ChatGPT.
Yeah, just some questions following on from James. Hi, ChatGPT, I'm Yoshi. So a question that I have is what project delivery profession do you think will be most impacted by generative AI and other forms of AI?
Hi, Yoshi. Generative AI and other forms of AI are likely to significantly motivate several project delivery professions. For instance, project managers can benefit from AI's ability to optimize scheduling, resource allocation, and risk management. Quantity surveyors can leverage AI for cost estimation, financial forecasting, and contract management. Additionally, professions like architects and engineers can use AI for design optimization, simulations, and improving collaboration across project teams. Overall, any profession within project delivery that involves data analysis, planning, and decision-making can see substantial benefits from AI integration.
Amazing. Thank you, ChatGPT. There was some news recently released from Apple, and they've introduced Apple Intelligence. They've mentioned that it will be powered by OpenAI. Can you give some more information into the key highlights from Apple Intelligence?
Apple Intelligence, which was announced at the Worldwide Developers Conference, WWDC 2024, introduces a variety of AI-powered features across Apple's ecosystem. Here are some key highlights. 1. Enhanced Siri. Siri is getting a significant upgrade with more conversational capabilities thanks to its integration with OpenAI's technology. This includes better natural language understanding and more accurate responses. 2. AI in Photos. The Photos app now supports natural language search, allowing users to find images based on descriptions like cat laying on the sofa. It also offers new editing features through voice commands, such as make this image pop more. 3. Mail and notes improvements. The Mail app can now summarize emails and rewrite them to fit different styles, making it easier to manage your inbox. The Notes app can solve math equations and convert rough sketches into
ChatGPT, can you provide those highlights in the context of project delivery?
Absolutely. Here are the key highlights of Apple Intelligence in the context of project delivery. 1. Enhanced Siri. Project managers and quantity surveyors can leverage the upgraded Siri for better voice command functionality, making it easier to set reminders, manage schedules, and get quick answers to project-related queries without manual input. 2. AI in Photos. The improved Photos app with natural language search and editing capabilities can be useful for managing visual project documentation. For example, you can quickly find and enhance images from site visits or project meetings by simply describing them. 3. Mail and notes improvements. The new features in Mail and Notes can help project delivery professionals streamline communication and documentation. AI can summarize lengthy email threads, rewrite messages to suit different tones, and quickly capture meeting notes or convert sketches into polished diagrams. 4. Privacy and on-device processing. Ensuring that sensitive project data is processed on device and not sent to the cloud aligns with many companies' privacy and security requirements, making it safer to use AI tools for project management. 5. New API and developer tools. Developers working on custom project management software can use the Image Playground API to integrate advanced image generation and editing features, enhancing the functionality of their tools. These enhancements aim to improve efficiency, accuracy, and convenience for professionals involved in project delivery, helping them manage tasks and communications more effectively.
Cool. I just have one more question before we discuss a bit more with James. There has been some concern regarding user privacy in this new partnership with OpenAI and Apple. So Apple have been known to being quite stringent with their user privacy, and it's something which has won a lot of consumers over. How do you see this collaboration playing out in regards to ensuring user privacy?
Apple has a strong reputation for prioritizing user privacy, and it is expected to maintain this focus even with its new partnership with OpenAI. Here are a few ways Apple is likely to ensure privacy remains a top priority. 1. On-device processing. Apple has emphasized that many AI features will be processed on device, minimizing the amount of data sent to the cloud. This approach ensures that personal data remains on users' devices and is not exposed to external servers. 2. Private cloud compute. For tasks that require cloud processing, Apple uses private cloud compute, which involves using Apple's own servers to process data securely. This setup aims to enhance privacy by controlling the environment in which data is processed and ensuring it adheres to Apple's strict privacy standards. 3. Transparency and control. Apple is known for providing users with transparency and control over their data. Users can expect clear information on what data is collected and how it is used, along with options to manage their privacy settings easily. 4. Partnership with OpenAI. While integrating OpenAI's technology, Apple will likely ensure that any data shared with OpenAI is anonymized and secure. The collaboration is expected to focus on enhancing AI capabilities without compromising Apple's stringent privacy protocols. Overall, Apple is likely to maintain its commitment to user privacy by leveraging on-device processing, secure cloud computing practices, and providing users with robust privacy controls. This approach aims to reassure consumers that their data remains protected, even as AI capabilities expand.
Cool. Thank you, ChatGPT.
Very reassuring. One last question from me before we let you go, ChatGPT, because I know you've got so many people to answer questions for. Are you up for a little bit of fun before we close, ChatGPT?
Absolutely. I'm always up for a bit of fun. What do you have in mind?
I'd like you to do your best impression of a grumpy project manager from probably somewhere in the north of England who is overwhelmed with a huge amount of work and all of a sudden finds the benefit of using AI to improve project delivery.
All right, here goes. It's another Bleeding Monday, and the list of tasks is longer than the queue at Greg's on a Saturday morning. I've got reports to write, budgets to balance, and a team that couldn't organize a piss-up in a brewery. It's enough to make a grown man cry, I tell ya. But then, right in the middle of me rant, this AI gizmo pipes up. At first, I thought, what's this daft thing gonna do? Make me a cuppa? But blow me down, it starts sorting me emails, flagging up the important ones, and even writing a few replies. Next thing I know, it's pulled together a project plan faster than Dave can down a pint. And you know what? It's even spotted a cock up in the budget I'd missed. I hate to admit it, but this AI might just be worth its weight in bacon sarnies. Now, if it could just fix the coffee machine, we'd be sorted. Right? Let's crack on before the next crisis hits. How's that for a grumpy project manager finding the silver lining with AI?
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, ChatGPT, and thank you for being a guest on the Project Flux podcast. We'll see you next time, and I'm no doubt be talking to you a lot in the future.
Thank you so much for having me on the Project Flux podcast. James and Yoshi, it's been a pleasure. Looking forward to our future conversations. Take care and all the best with your projects.
Well, that was certainly an interesting conversation. Would you say the best guest we've had on yet, Yoshi?
Not quite, but it's really good, right? And you can see there was some latency issues, but that could be my connection. But it's really human-like, right? The conversation's quite good.
Very natural.
The question at the end as well was quite good. I didn't think it'd be that in depth, but the accent was a bit off, right? But I couldn't do a northern accent.
Yeah, well, she got the cuppers and the swearing in there, which was quite good. So, and the bacon sarnies and Greg's, which I thought was pretty cool.
But some of the conversations around the event was quite good. I mean, like it did address the concern around user privacy. I mean, on-device processing. It would be good to see how that expands or scales into for businesses. But I mean, people use their phone as well on projects, right? And they use it on site. So I think the integration of AI would be quite significant.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of seeing, believing thing, isn't it? Now, we've just had that conversation. It's going to get better and better. And I think, we're going to just start subtly changing our workflows. I've only had access to it for about a week and starting to check, well, I don't need to type that. I don't need to Google that. I'm just going to ask ChatGPT. And it's just like, okay, it's going to take a while to filter in, but it's definitely, it's going to change a lot. But it's really cool. And I think that worked really well. So that was really cool. Okay, so the first thing we're going to show you is a few clips from some of the people that we met at Digital Construction Week, and you just get a feel for the atmosphere there and what's going on. There's a few bits from the Gleeds stand, which I was on, and then there's some conversations with some of the other vendors there. So yeah, just have a listen, and you can soak up the atmosphere a little. James here,
and Yoshi. Hi guys.
At the beginning of Digital Construction Week, we got a big week ahead. Digital Construction Week today. And whilst Yoshi stays here tomorrow, I'll be at the APN conference reporting live from that. So awful lot to go and see and go and hear about. What are you most excited about, Yoshi?
The Gleeds stand.
Not bad, eh? We're really excited to be here.
A lot to see.
And we're in direct competition with the coffee guys. There's a coffee shop behind us, but it's okay because we have our own coffee.
Free coffee.
Free own coffee. And we also have a Meta Quest challenge. We're going to have a Beat Saber challenge. Yeah. So there's a lot for us to be excited about, really, and we'll keep reporting, keep telling you what's going on. And anyone who's here, come and speak to us. We're at stand D505, opposite the coffee. But don't buy the coffee. Come and get our coffee.
Free.
For free. And here he is, Yoshi, playing the Beat Saber challenge. So come and join us here and see if you can beat the high score, of which it's only Yoshi at the moment. So plenty to play for. We're here at the start of Digital Construction Week, and I'm here with the Chief Digital Officer and my colleague, Dave Amratia of Gleeds.
Hello, everybody. Hello. We're at stand 505, so come see us. We've got stuff we can tell you, and we've got some free coffee. So
here with Nahid Jafar. Say hello, Nahid.
Hi, guys.
Nahid's one of my colleagues at Gleeds. We've been working together for how many years now? Way too many. 12 years.
I know I don't look that old, but 12 years.
Definitely not. Well, this is both of our first Digital Construction Week as being exhibitors at the lovely Gleeds stand. What are you most excited about for the next 2 days, Nahid?
Excited about to meet new people that we wouldn't really get the opportunity to meet. I mean, we've already been here for like an hour and we've met countless people from loads of different organizations, clients, contractors, people from Ireland, India. So, I mean, it's amazing how many people are from different countries all around the world here. So, really excited.
Yeah, and then we've got another, at least another
36 hours to go. So, and I'll be honest, there's so much on with the program. I mean, you could easily spend 2 days here.
Yeah, definitely.
There's new exhibitors popping up all the time. And what I love about Digital Construction Week is all the talks that we've got going on here. So tomorrow, CTO Ben Huskerson is doing a talk on one of the stages. You've got representatives from most of the big tech companies here as well. So I think by the end of the 2 days, we're going to be pretty exhausted.
I think so, yeah. And it's buzzing. It's like, there's lots of buzz going around, lots of people walking around. It's great. Love it.
I'm here with Nick Stepanov. Hi, Nick.
Hi there. Hi, James. Really good to see you here.
Just bumped into each other on the first day. So, Nick, just introduce yourself for everyone. What do you do? What you do?
I'm Nick. I'm a co-founder of Forecast, and we do ESG software for real estate. And I'm really, really excited to be here, especially about the team with geospatials. I saw so much drone and automation technology. You can really see, it's stepping up every year. And you can only kind of imagine what's that going to be like in the next 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's like doubling each year, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the one big thing you've taken away so far from Digital Construction Week?
I think that lots of the data handling is going to be fully automated. I can see that lots of technology out there that helps you capture high quality construction site data in real time, and that's going to enable a lot of raft of other technology like robotics and site automation. Really excited to be here, frankly.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Nick. Right, I'm here with Alistair from ADDD. What does ADDD stand for?
Hi, so it's Automated Data-Driven Design. It's a company I've set up, and we have a marketplace for construction technology software. So at the moment, you can't find construction technology software easily in one place. So we built a marketplace to allow software vendors to put their products on there and sell in a seamless manner, so users can find the software solutions that they need. It's going really fast, and software companies are put their products on there, and it's a much quicker and easier way to think. Over the next couple of years, it will be the big thing that happens, along with integrating with AI and AI solutions.
Crazy, isn't it? It's going so fast.
Yeah.
Thanks for that insight. And if you want to check them out in the show notes. Peter Sumpton from Build Different, and Peter's hosting the podcast here.
Yeah, we are.
Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so we're doing 10 interviews over the 2 days with the knowledgeable and the great from Contact. And they will be distributed or launched or released after the show, as well as Construction Week using them in their content as well.
Amazing. And we'll get that on the show notes so people can follow.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Cool. So what have you heard about? We're very interested in AI at Project Flux. So what have you heard about AI, and how important do you think AI is going to be for the future of digital construction?
I mean, there's no denying it's going to be a front runner in technology. It's the thing that I'm finding from my guests and what I see and understand is that ChatGPT has got a lot to answer for, in it being the fluffy side of it. But where we're really going to see some advances is in the boring part of AI and in the background part of it. And on a previous podcast, we were talking about AI. And one thing that stuck in my mind was the fact that it's not going to steal jobs. It's not going to take away from anybody. Everyone's going to have their own free intern. It's going to be that little thing on your shoulder that helps you do everything a lot better and a lot more efficiently.
A free team member.
Yes, free team member. Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic, Alistair. Thanks very much.
Pleasure.
Hi guys, we are here at Victor at the Digital Construction Week. We're a cloud-based platform empowering engineers to build and share user-friendly web applications company-wide to automate different kind of engineering tasks, calculations, whatever.
Hey, it's Chirag here from Pace Global, a recruitment company specialist, project controls and digital. Also representing Acosti, where I'm a director. Really interested to find out where digital lies in project controls, the innovations that are happening, especially in data analytics.
Okay, this next clip is from the APM conference, and there was a fantastic Oxford-style debate between Dev from nPlan and Dave Corbin at Gleeds, where they were debating whether the use of data and AI in project delivery hinders more than it helps project outcomes. So what you're going to hear is the initial 5-minute speech, firstly from Dave and then from Dev. The actual debate finished at exactly 50-50. So there's clearly a difference of opinion in the profession about what's happening with AI, but I think really, really interesting just to have a listen to these initial speeches on that theme.
I believe that AI and its over-reliance on clean data is a hindrance to project managers and project outcomes at this moment in time. I have no doubt that at some point in the future we'll be using AI on a daily basis without even knowing it. But right now, it's a massive time-consuming distraction. I have 4 areas to focus on that in support of this proposition, and I have at least 4 more in my back pocket should I need them. Through my MBA research, I was fortunate enough to interview a number of industry peers about the use of AI in their businesses. And all firms represented here all talked about how they were looking into using AI, but none of them were using it in earnest. So I'm going to start with trust. So where does the data go? Who owns the IP? How accurate and useful is it? Arup, a global construction company, was recently deepfaked into sending 200 million Hong Kong dollars, that's 20 million pounds, to criminals through an AI-generated video call. And they're not alone. The opening keynote presentation at a Gartner symposium last October suggested that companies prepared for the very real threat of fake corporate history, an event with hundreds of articles and blogs corroborate an event that never happened. I watched that and thought immediately, how could this adversely impact project organisations? How many organisations represented in this room have an AI policy that allows full use of AI within their businesses? Who's put the hard yards in to do a full risk appraisal of the various risks and AI tools on offer? If data's the new oil, are we going to leave it outside where anyone can take it? What about ChatGPT? Published data last year, undertaken in May, said that 47% of responses were fabricated, 46% were authentic but inaccurate, and only 7% were authentic and accurate. So, on to training. Let me ask you this question. Who in this room, a room full of project professionals, feel that they would be considered well-versed in the use of AI? I doubt there will be many of you putting your virtual hands up right now. Sadly, there are a very limited number of industry peers who have enough knowledge to fully understand the capability. Most of us are likely to be in some sort of trough of despair. It's hype curve terminology for those who don't recognise it. Probably haven't been caught out by ChatGPT. I know I was, but I can't actually share that story. It's to do with my MBA. So, and according to a study by Randstad last year, only 7% of people received any training on AI in the prior 12 months. And the UK is one of the leading nations investing in this space, third only to China and the US. So one of my research interviewees asserted that even once trained on AI, it would then be a full-time job keeping up. So number 3, legislation and standards, and I understand it's not the most sexiest topics, but it's an important one. Right? There is no global legislation in place. There probably will never be. Right? It's like the Wild West out there, and everyone's creating their own version of what good looks like, and for their own purpose, good or otherwise. Can we trust the claims that specialists are making in terms of benefits and outcomes? Are they validated by anyone? Where's the good old-fashioned modern version of the kite mark? And lastly, the tech. And I have to admit, the tech is moving so fast now that it is really hard to keep up. In the sci-fi movies, for those who are around, AI was depicting this thing without having any boundaries. In reality, AI, as it currently stands, is more described as augmented memory, only providing information that it already has, focused on the past and not in the future. Where's the innovation? Will projects ever go ahead if based on past performance? The same keynote speech at Gartner Symposium last year firmly believed that we're at the top of the hype curve. But this isn't the first time we've been at the top of the hype curve. I think the last time was in the 80s. So what's different now about this hype curve compared to where we were before?
Got 1 minute left.
Through my research, I observed that those in senior positions had the highest expectation of AI, right? And then were found to be disappointed when the project professionals couldn't actually deliver on those expectations. That's a stat that's backed up by the PMI Ireland chapter recently. So we need to ask ourselves a question right now. Do we all want to be innovators? I highly respect the work that my opposer is doing, but the vast majority of us don't have the resources or safe space to do this on the projects. So maybe for now it's best to wait. So let me recap. I have no doubt that AI will have its time. However, right now as project professionals, I would argue that your primary role is to safeguard your project's interests, improve project outcomes as far as possible in a risk managed and controlled environment. Is the best use of your time bringing new tools and systems that may or may not be accurate, or spending time training an algorithm for a future benefit? So I put it to you all that AI is a huge distraction at a time when resources are already stretched.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, I would like to thank the proposer for firstly changing the definition of what he was proposing. He's, and I quote, AI will have its time. Thank you. I also quote, the proposer said, an enhanced reliance on clean data. Fortunately, I have far more stark arguments to make against why this notion will never exist. I firmly believe, and I'll take it to my grave, I'm happy that this is recorded, that AI will fundamentally transform not just project management, the project delivery profession, construction industry, all industry, and mankind. Starting with who we are, the project delivery profession. Maintaining the status quo just isn't an option. So if we sit here and think that let's not do something is a choice we have, let me quote the APM back at you. We need 25 million additional project professionals globally by 2030. Australia has a population of 26 million people. So, where are we going to find Australia again? And make them all trained to the level that you operate at today in what's, let's face it, tomorrow morning. You know, I have to be slightly cynical on APM's view that this is practical. I firmly do not believe that this is a logical pathway that we can follow. So given that the demand is there, that we have society is going to build and the things we are going to build are just going to get more complex over time, we have no choice but to change. Technology, very specifically AI, will enable this. I also want to pick up on a keyword that is used by the proposer, which is hindrance. A hindrance is a thing that provides resistance, delay, obstruction to something or someone. Those are very strong words to use about what is an inevitable future of change, which involves efficiency and empowerment. If we don't get more efficient with who we are and who we have and the little bit more that we will get, we just won't make it. I also want to make some points around the pace at which technology is moving today. AI is transformative. And I will give you two sources of evidence to back this up. The first is a capitalist view. Today, in 2023, $42 billion was spent on developing AI inside startups alone. Little companies, perhaps like mine, received a share of $42 billion in 1 year. That is the highest amount of capital being allocated into something. Now, you might sit there and think, well, this capital is all just throwing money at wild stuff and it probably will pan out to nothing. No, capital doesn't work that way. The way it works, and I'll give you a little insight of how my own organization works, is I can only attract this type of money if I have traction. Traction's a function of two things. I have to have revenue. People have to pay me for a service I give them, and that service has to be valuable. Simple economic trade. I have to have revenue, and I have to have growth. The average growth rate of an AI startup today, not yesterday or hopefully one day tomorrow, today is 100%. We are growing at 100% year on year. If you think about that growth rate in economic terms, that means we're able to solve a problem today, transact for money today, and grow at 100% year on year, which allows venture to spend $42 billion in 2023. Google alone invests $10 billion every year in the progression of AI. We're not throwing money at something that we don't believe will make a difference. But let's come into the world of project delivery. You might think all this AI is going into the development of ChatGPT, and what the hell does that have to do with the project profession? Give you two sources of evidence. BuildDots is a fantastic company that uses AI today, like installing cameras to watch what happens on a construction site. It measures progress autonomously So we don't have to have people with a scratch pad looking at whether the column is built or not. A machine can do that for us. That same person is now communicating, negotiating, and arbitrating with their peers. And I'll leave you with the final part about what is happening right now. My own organization uses data from 780,000 projects on how they perform to help project managers today to make much more informed decisions. They can say, I'm empowered. I actually have data from 780,000 projects in my back pocket to inform the decisions I'm making today. I didn't have that 5 years ago when I was a project manager.
That's a reasonably strong.
Okay, this last clip is from Project Hack and the senior meeting held with a lot of clients, members of the Project Data Analytics Task Force, members of the Project Data Analytics Coalition. And this is a 5-minute speech from Martin Paver at Projecting Success, talking about the journey that he's been on and why it's so important to events like Project Hack. So take a listen to this and let us know what you think.
It started in 2017. The hack started in 2018. The task force going in 2020. We've got the coalition going in 2024, right? So it's been building and building and building. So we saw the potential of data-driven project delivery. Back in 2017, I was speaking to people from the NHS, from MOD, from various other places. So they all thought this was sci-fi. I thought this is never going to happen, whatever. So rather than me trying to shout about it with a colleague, just 2 of us at the time, we said, let's build a movement, right? Let's start this community going. So that's what we did. So we founded the Project Data Analytics community. It's grown to well over 10,000 members now. Where we're trying to inspire people. And that's what we're doing out there today, right? Inspiring people is that there's a different way. This is not automated today. It's not just taking what we've been doing, making it a little bit quicker and saving 10% on it. This is about reimagining some of the stuff we do as well. That's the scale of the opportunity for us. So we're trying to educate people, take away some of the fear because it becomes accessible. So we're trying to share these ideas. So what comes out of these hackathons as well, we open source. So that's been a challenge for us, and I'm just going to talk about that in a bit. So we'd like to fix that as well. Like collaboration, because you're all trying to solve very similar problems, if not the same problems, just through a slightly different sector or lens or whatever. But fundamentally, it's the same thing you're trying to do. We try to energise this movement as well, because the more people who's in it, the faster we'll go. So instead of 100 separate organisations working on the same thing, let's get 100 organisations working on 100 things at pace, so we'll go 100 times quicker. And there's nothing to stop us doing that, except ourselves. So what that's done, it's seeded the Project Data Analytics Task Force and the Community Coalition. So in terms of the hack, this was a picture from my very first hack in the Microsoft Reactor. We did that in collaboration with Microsoft and with Cyril McAlpine at all. But what we're trying to do with hackathon, so back in the early days, to raise awareness, really. So it's gone way beyond that. Next slide. So in 2023, we held a hack at Spurs Ground, where we got 330 attendees there, including the Government Construction Board. So they came along and they held their meeting at the hackathon. That helped us stimulate some change. We've had the Chief Exec of the Infrastructure Projects Authority there. So Adam Bodison's been to some of these from Labour as well. So it's an opportunity to start to get the community going. So there's a big difference now from sort of 2017 to where we are today. So the tools are now readily available. So these low-code tools, we've got the large language models, ChatGPTs, etc. It's becoming a lot more accessible. It's a lot easier. It's low-code. So we can all do it as project professionals. This is all accessible to us. So what we're doing, we start to challenge the very essence of what is project delivery. But we work in silos, solving these problems in isolation. So what we want to do through this collaboration is to work on a scale we've yet to imagine, right? I've been trying to do this passionately for years and years and years. I sense that that's now changed, right? I think we have got the central gravity, we've got the right people at last who can make this happen. It's about open sourcing all the stuff that comes out of there, not just the solutions, but the little modules that go under it. So all the little Lego pieces of code, and someone's got a wizard tool that will rip some data out of the system and put it into another system, etc. So I've written a couple of books recently that I've open sourced and just put them out there. So next generation PMO, next generation risk management. Risk management is saying, let's move to variance analytics. Let's stop doing what we're doing today in terms of risk management process because we're feeding the machine. Let's start to reimagine it. So that book's out there now. It's been open source. It's available to everybody. So just have a look at that. I'll send it to your risk teams and get to troll me on LinkedIn. Because it is fundamentally challenging what they're doing. I've got some more books coming as well. I'm working with James on next generation quantity surveyors as well. And then next generation assurance is 50% written as well. So we've got quite a lot of books coming along because we're trying to get them out there to inspire people. So it's these component parts we've got in place. So we've got the visions coming out of the coalition, and it's providing the horsepower as well through the apprenticeship scheme and beyond. So we're starting to get more and more people into the boat, and there's massive uptick through Caroline's work, through the MOD. We've got a massive uptick in the amount of horsepower we've got coming into this. So momentum's building at pace. But the challenge for all of it is, what do we need to do to get this flywheel spinning faster? So it's spinning at the moment, it's starting to get some momentum, but it certainly isn't fast enough. That's where we need to go ahead. So we can pass over to Anne. I'm actually going to take you through some of the challenges we've been facing. And going, so I'll talk you through some of the challenges and previous solutions and some of the architecture as well.
So I think, that's all we've got time for really today, because we're going to go through the various insights from the different conferences. Next week, we do have Nermeen Latif from WSP, who's another PDA task force member, who's going to come on and talk about what the task force is doing and a little bit about her role at WSP. So that'll be really, really excited. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this special show. I know it's been a bit of a different format, but we wanted to bring you as much information as possible. And what with the conversation with ChatGPT, the insights from Digital Construction Week, the insights from APM conference, and a little sneak peek from the hackathon, which we'll talk about a bit more on the next podcast because we'll have the results in by then. There was an awful lot to pull in, so I'm pleased we did it. So any final words from you, Yoshi, before we sign off for another week?
Yeah, I mean, even though we didn't cover a lot of topics in today's podcast, all the information is still in the newsletter. So the information is still there. So check it out, guys. It's always a great read.
Absolutely. And please do leave a comment or subscribe, leave a review on your chosen podcast platform, because it really helps to get this out to more people. And we're hearing from a lot of people that they're really digging this and they're really enjoying it. So we want to get this out to as many people as possible, because it does seem to be helping. So please spend a few minutes doing something to pay it forward. And that's it from us. So we'll see you next week. Take care, guys.